Bonjour Pengies, and welcome to patpengscast, the show that dives you into the world as I see it. Season 1, Episode 1. Yes, so glad to kick off the first season. Pardon my Parisian. And the first episode, pardon my districts. Talking about districts, obviously. Well, it's an overview of Paris, so it's obvious that I was gonna start with that. Oh, and we have a guest today. You'll know all about that in just a second. Stay tuned. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Yes, we have a guest today.
Bonjour.
Who is that guest?
I'm Louis.
Who's Louis?
I'm Louis.
You are worldwide famous, Louis. Louis NT.
No, I'm not. But
you're not.
Maybe they know me in Florida.
In Florida? Yeah, you're right. You go to Florida, you go to Miami very often, right? Yeah, we have some American listeners. We might have some American listeners in this podcast. So you can say hi.
Hello, my people from Miami and all over the US.
I am very glad to start this episode and this podcast in general this season with my friend Louis here. But we were going to have some other guests as well along with the podcast, with the different episodes that we will present to you. We are January 11. This is the first episode. And obviously, as I said, we're going to be discussing districts because it's an overview of the city and it's just normal to start with that. Right.
Yeah.
It's a big city, Paris, right? It's like how many millions? You just told me earlier.
2,100,000.
But this is just the internal part of Paris. It's not counting the suburbs and it's not because if we count the suburbs, there are 5 zones in the suburbs. We're like around 10 million or 11 million, right? And within the limits of the city of Paris, 2,100,000. Okay, so how is it built? A big city like that. It has like 20 districts, and they are weirdly formed. It's like in the form of a snail. We know that Parisians and French in general love snails, to eat snails. But even they made the city and the structure of the city of Paris at the image of a snail. So the first one is in the middle, and then you go around the first and towards the outer limits of Paris to reach the 20th. It's weird because, in modern cities we're like squares and very aligned and very structured, but in Paris you turn around and it's because it's old and it was built that way and it expanded in this way, so that's why. Anyway, so we're gonna, focus on each one. Every district has its character and attractions and atmosphere. So we're gonna have a brief overview of each one of them, starting by the first. So the first is home of some landmarks, as we know, like the Louvre Museum, Tuileries Garden, the Palais Royal. But it's not really considered as being downtown because I don't think there is a downtown to Paris. There are no signs saying that this is where you have to go in order to reach downtown. Every single person in Paris or Parisian considers a place in Paris as being a downtown. Okay, the first is the center, but where do you consider downtown Paris, for example? I don't know.
I think the first, the second, the third, and the fourth are like the center of the city, so they can be considered as downtown, but not as we see them in the US, because in the US it's more like the downtown is, for the big cities, is the place where you have big buildings and the business district, and it's not like that in the Paris city. But like if you want to consider the downtown as the center of the city, then it would be like the 4 arrondissements, which are at the center of the city.
They are geographically at the center of the city, correct. And they can be considered as downtown because a lot of things are happening in the first, second, third, and fourth. But I mean, there are also other things that are happening in the other districts, and we're gonna talk about those in a bit. Yeah, I mean, it's a downtown, it's a center, but it's not really considered as a downtown. So how do you like the first?
I think it's very enjoyable to work there. There are a lot of landmarks. There is the Seine, which is the main river.
We're gonna be talking about the Seine River also at next episode.
And all of these are very enjoyable. You also have like the gardens of the Louvre, and it's nice to walk there, to just see the landmarks, to see the beautiful buildings. And
the garden of the Louvre being called the Tuileries.
Yes.
We really go there. Us as friends in summer, we go there and we enjoy the environment, the view, while sitting and having what we call in French apéro. It's a very important part of the day for French people before going out at night. So what about the second and the third? I know that you like them. They have mainly I don't know if they have landmarks, but what do you think about the second and the third around Arrondissements, because this is how we say it in French?
I think these are also districts where it's very enjoyable to be working there on the weekends, or even if you are a tourist, because there are like a lot of cafes, a lot of restaurants, a lot of beautiful buildings and architecture, a lot of art galleries, and so much going on.
Yeah.
And it's always like very active.
A lot of art galleries indeed, and gardens, but not huge parks. I feel like there are like some small cute gardens here and there in the second and the third that are hidden, not very well known from the main, not very mainstream, but are really nice. The fourth is literally where we go out the most, I guess, right?
Yes. The fourth is like a lot of bars. It's kind of similar to the third and the second, but like maybe more busier.
Busier, and also it's home to some iconic landmarks like the Cathédrale de Notre-Dame de Paris, and also there's the Jewish Quarter and boutiques. Just like the second and the third, you have a lot of trendy boutiques and art galleries. I personally love the fourth because it's a combination between going out and walking around the city, probably before dinner or after dinner, to digest what and it's a complete arrondissement. Let's say you can go out and you can shop and you can do pretty much what you have to do, and it's busy, but I mean depending on the streets, because if you go to the main streets like Rue des Archives or Rue du Temple, yes, obviously it's going to be very very busy, but if you get lost in the small streets of the fourth, beyond what we call the Le Marais, I feel like it's less busy, but still as interesting and enjoyable as the rest of the district. Let's move to the fifth. The fifth is mainly known for what we call the Quartier Latin, the Latin corner. Well, it's also known for La Sorbonne, the Panthéon, so it has some intellectual vibe, and it's also home of the Luxembourg Gardens. Well, I have mixed feelings about this district because the Luxembourg Garden is nice. Okay, obviously the Sorbonne and the Panthéon are part of Paris's history, but I have a problem with the Latin corner. Okay, it's nice if it was less touristic. The problem is that it's just next to the Notre-Dame de Paris, and a lot of tourists move from Notre-Dame de Paris to this Latin corner in order to have dinner or lunch. So it makes it very touristic and very busy, and you don't feel the Parisian vibe much. And if you go to a restaurant, for example, in the Latin corner, you probably won't be, treated properly. So this is probably why tourists say that some Parisians might be rude. But it's not. It's not a general rule. I mean, probably Louis, you will tell me what you think. But yeah, Latin corner is nice, but if you're not looking for a touristic area, you can avoid it. What do you think about the fifth?
Yes, I think there is a lot of history there. It's it's a very interesting area of the city, and I think it's a must-see for any person discovering the city, especially a tourist. But the restaurants there I would not recommend. So obviously the ones which are close to Notre Dame, I would not recommend them because they are like tourist traps. But otherwise you have like beautiful architecture, and it's very much the vibe that you can see in the movies and in the TV series. It's like it's the Parisian vibe, you know?
Right. It's the Parisian vibe, but again, it's mainly the population there. Depending on what you're looking for. I mean, also depends on your program during the day. So if you're visiting the Notre-Dame de Paris and then you want to just have a bite quickly, okay. But if you're it shouldn't be your main destination when to eat or to have dinner or to have lunch while you're visiting Paris. And then we have the sixth and the seventh districts. So we group them together because they're pretty much the same, around the same thing. So they are houses of Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
I don't think we have to present the Eiffel Tower. Well, we will have an episode on monuments So we will go deeper in each monument. But yeah, so in these districts, we have the Eiffel Tower, we have the Champ de Mars, which is the garden, that is close to the Eiffel Tower, le Musée d'Orsay, blah, blah, blah. And we have also some upscale residential areas with stunning views of Paris's landmarks. But obviously not everybody can afford living in the 6th and the 7th district. So along with the 8th, and we're going to talk about the 8th district, it's literally what we see in the movies and the TV shows. So apart from that, nothing much to say about these districts. The 8th, it actually features the Champs-Élysées, the worldwide known avenue. Well, it's considered as being one of the most beautiful avenues in the world. But, I mean, yeah, it is beautiful when you visit Paris, when you're a stranger. But for us Parisians, we pretty much never go there, right?
No, it's not very... There are too many people.
Yeah.
It's too spread out. And so there are beautiful buildings. If you look up, there are a lot of beautiful buildings and historic buildings. So it is interesting. But it can be comparable to any like outdoor mall that you can see, for instance, in the US, except it's bigger for sure. And there are a lot of cars. So it's like not very enjoyable, not a lot of trees. So it's not like a beautiful stroll. In the city, it's more like if you want to see the most popular French stores, you can see them there,
right?
Like luxury stores. But so this is mainly why the typical Parisian or French even will not like go there like it's at all. I mean, and even places to go out like restaurants and bars. No, I mean, you never go and eat. It's never our destination to go and have lunch and dinner in the Champs-Élysées. But obviously, it's beautiful when it comes to the fact that you have a view on the Arc de Triomphe. Yes,
and it's also beautiful because you're close to the Petit Palais and Grand Palais.
Yes.
and La Place de la Concorde, which is a Concorde Square. That is really adjacent to the Tuileries and therefore to the Musée du Louvre. So yeah, when you walk down the streets, the avenue of the Champs-Élysées, this is what you mainly enjoy. But again, because of the huge traffic, because it's an avenue with like three lanes per each direction. So it's like a total of 6 or 7 between 6 and 8 lanes of traffic. Which makes it one of the biggest avenue in Paris in terms of traffic cars. So, yeah, but again, you have the view on the Arc de Triomphe, you have the view on the Place de la Concorde, le Grand Palais, le Petit Palais. So, high-end shopping if you really need to go there. Not interesting to go out at night or to have lunch. So this is the 8th. There's the 9th district also that is home to the Palais Garnier, or what we call in English the Opera of Paris. And it's also home of the department stores like Galeries Lafayette and Printemps. Spoiler alert, we are going to discuss department stores in the next episode. But let's focus on, like, I personally love the Palais Garnier or the Opera. I love the architecture. It's a very beautiful building. It's one of my favorite buildings in Paris, actually. I haven't, believe it or not, visited it from the inside yet. Did you?
No, not yet.
Yeah, that's very weird. I mean, I would love to, for example, book something, like book an opera and attend it. It's very weird that I haven't done it yet. Because when we live in Paris, we mainly go to smaller theaters and enjoy smaller concerts and smaller theaters, apart from the big concerts when international, singers come. Yeah, so what do you think about the 9th district?
So I used to hang out a lot there when I was younger. And because I used to go with my family to the department stores because they were very enjoyable. There were a lot to buy there, a lot of choices for outfit and for anything. Actually, they sell everything, so it's very nice. And yeah, the opera is also very beautiful from the outside, and just the area is kind of nice. It's mostly residential, but there are still a lot of cafes, a lot of restaurants, and a lot of people.
Yeah, sure. A lot of people, this is for sure.
But it's also very beautiful.
What kind of studies were you doing there exactly? Where did you go in the 9th district?
Oh, I used to study finance, so it used to be close by.
Okay, so it's a university that is there. So there are a lot of students in the area?
Not many, no. But it's like a hub.
It's okay.
So you can go anywhere from there because there is the Saint Lazare train station.
Saint Lazare. Well, for French people, Saint-Lazare.
sounds less nice.
So yeah.
But so it brings you everywhere in the city. So it's very practical.
Yeah.
And so it was where I used to hang out a lot.
Good. Well, I feel like the universities are mainly on the South Bank. South Bank, when we say it's like on the left side of the river, and when we say left side, it's because the water flows from east to west. So the left side makes it the southern part of Paris. And this is mainly where we have a lot of universities, like worldwide renowned ones like Paris 4, Paris 5, Paris 6, Jussieu, Pierre et Marie Curie, all of these. And also Sorbonne. Okay, now we reached the 10th and the 11th district of Paris. I think that we have here some very opposite opinions about these districts. I will start with Louis. Go ahead. What do you think about the 10th and the 11th? Please be gentle, because I know you have strong opinions about it.
No, I think people can enjoy these districts because there are a lot of bars, a lot of nightlife. But it's just that I like the old Paris, the beautiful Haussmann architecture and these old buildings. And for me, these two districts do not reflect the old Paris scenery and buildings. So this is why I do not like them. So I think they are, I don't know, like kind of sad, like in terms of color. Everything is gray.
Yeah.
So I think they are less enjoyable, like so especially if you're a tourist. I do not see anything for you to check out there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you're a tourist and you're interested by what we call in French l'architecture haussmannienne, or Haussmann, I would say in English it is, architecture, then obviously it's not the place to be when it comes to this kind of visit. The 10th and the 11th districts are not the place to be. But if you're looking for a more local and popular, let's say they are like popular districts, if you're looking more into that vibe, then yeah, it will suit you better. And knowing that also a lot of Parisians from the northern part of Paris, so right bank or northern bank, they go there. There are a lot of things to do, like Bastille, a lot of bars, a lot of restaurants in these neighborhoods. But yeah, not touristic, or very not that touristic. But there's also something that is nice that I really love about these districts, which is what we call the Canal Saint-Martin. So the Canal Saint-Martin is a sort of like it's coming from the Seine, and at some point the Canal Saint-Martin flows from the Seine but up north, so it's like a ramification, and it goes all the way to the northern part of the city. And a lot of people actually gather around the Canal Saint-Martin in summer when the weather is nice, in order to have a drink, probably have a bite before going out, or before going to a restaurant, or before going to a bar. So I feel that when the weather is good, it's a nice place to walk around. Which brings us to the 12th district all the way to the 17th. So we're grouping 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Why is that? Because they are pretty much residential areas, right? And we pretty much never go there apart from if we have somebody that lives there. I mean, I personally do not. This is my opinion, and I would take Louis' opinion about that. So what do you think about the 12th all the way to the 17th?
Well, yes. So yeah, these are mostly residential areas. So nothing much to see there. Like I never traveled there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing much. Well, there is the 16th district known as being a bit upscale among these from the 12th to the 17th. But, we have a friend in the 17th. We sometimes go there. But apart from that, I never go to the 17th or to any other district from the 12th to the 17th. Okay, 18th. Well, it's... Again, mixed feelings about the 18th arrondissement or 18th district, but we have to mention that it's house of the iconic Montmartre neighborhood, known for its bohemian charm. A lot of artist studios over there as well. La Basilique du Sacré-Cœur, which is the church on top of the hill, and the Moulin Rouge. Thank you, Christine. Okay, and a lot of streets, nice streets as well. And when it comes to architecture, Louis is that a lot of nice streets as well to walk around. What do you think about the 18th?
Yeah, Louis? So the 18. So what I love the most about the 18 is Montmartre for sure, because it's very nice. It's like as if you are in the past, you know, like nothing much has changed since the beginning of the 20th century. So obviously there are a lot of tourist traps, but in the end, not that many. And you're still like in an old Paris. So I just love it. Like especially there are some hidden gems that we will discuss in a future episode, in the next episode. And so yeah, I really like this area, and it's like you are away from Paris, but you're still in the city, so it's quite easy to reach.
I agree. It's a nice neighborhood, but we have to be careful on where to go in that neighborhood. Not every place in that neighborhood, let's say, safe, even though it doesn't make it dangerous. In general, Paris is not that dangerous. But yeah, there are some places in the 18th, in the 19th and in the 20th that you might just take a bit of extra care when you walk there. But again, nothing to be really, really scared about. Which leads us to the 19th and the 20th. Again, I don't really think that these... I mean, apart from the Butte Chaumont in the 19th, I really love that park, the Les Buttes Chaumont. Spoiler alert, we are going to discuss also about some parks in Paris in a future episode. So, 19th and 20th, a lot of people live there. It's also popular. It can be nice from a place. It can be also, you know, nice, but I personally do not go there that much, apart from to go to this park called Les Buttes Chaumont. What do you think about that? Same thing.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but now that we've discussed all the districts from the 1st to the 20th, what is your ranking? If you have to make a ranking about these districts, what would it be?
I would say the 4th.
Yeah,
first for sure.
I agree with the 4th as well. It would be my first as well.
Then the 3rd.
Yeah.
Then 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then I would say the 8th.
Yeah.
The 9th. And then all the rest.
Yeah.
In the middle of this ranking.
Yeah.
Except maybe 6 and 7, which because there is obviously the Eiffel Tower and some nice museums.
Yeah.
And at the end would be
all the rest.
19 and 20 for sure.
Yeah. I agree. So for me, same thing goes for the 4th, then the 1st, then the 3rd, I would say, and the 2nd. I would add the 10th and the 11th. I know that you put them at the end, but for me, the 10th and the 11th are nice places to go out. I really enjoy going there. And then I would put the 8th because it's really beautiful. Even though we never, live. It's not a residential area, but it's very nice to walk around and see some beautiful architecture over there. And the rest at the same level. This would be my opinion about the different districts. Okay, so each district, anyway, we still has its own unique blend and history and culture and architecture, as we said. Sometimes you have a Haussmannian type. Some other times it's more modern or more 70s, 60s kind of architecture. It also, every district has its own lifestyle, as we mentioned. But the particularity and the thing that is beautiful about Paris is that it's grouping all these differences in one city, which makes it really a rich tapestry of culture, and it makes it fascinating. It's a really fascinating destination for visitors to explore because it has everything anyone could think of. Depends on your taste, depends on your mood. You can go to a place or to another and be satisfied. Okay, so this concludes our episode 1, season 1. Yay! Pardon My Districts. This was Pardon My Districts from season 1, Pardon My Parisian. Thank you, Louis, for being here. It's a pleasure to share this first episode with you. And spoiler alert, you'll be also a guest in other episodes during the show. So tune in. But meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and like the episode on the platform you're listening from. Anghami, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or on my website, patpengscast.patricksayag.com. Also, please send me some feedback, whether you agreed or not on what we said during the episode or on the podcast itself. It will be a pleasure to read your comments. See you in 2 weeks, Pengies!